Hey YouTube, this morning I'm going to go ahead and walk you through at least the basics of how to change out your expansion valve for your air conditioning system of your Honda Pilot. This should probably be pretty applicable for 03 through 08. I noticed there was nothing online, and so I thought I'd run you through this real quick. I did it already, so I'm not going to go step by step this morning. This is the glove box area of my 06 Honda Pilot. And this is the evaporator core assembly. You can see the evaporator core inside this box, evaporator core box. And then also in here is, see if I can get a good angle in it. There's the expansion valve right there inside the box. Now, there's no great way to get to this expansion valve to replace it. And how do you know if you have a bad expansion valve? Well, in my experience, and people can differ on their opinion, but I have a set of gauges. And when I went to go refill this system after replacing components, I noticed that the low pressure side was high and the high pressure side was low. And from my experience, that's a sign and symptom of a bad expansion valve. And so I went in to get to it to replace it. As you remove the glove box assembly, there's a series of bolts. They're not hard to get the brace. There's a brace that's in here. Sorry for the junk here. There's this brace that's in here on the back side of this plastic piece that's here, and that has to come out. And then you'll have access. Once you get the glove box out, you'll have access here. The only problem is that this whole assembly, I've taken out every visible bolt and screw that I can, and you can't get it out without dropping also this fan assembly. And it looked like too much work and effort for that, and I just wasn't up for it. I've done it before. I've done it on a Honda CRV, my 04 Honda CRV. I've also done it on my 98 Honda Civic, but this one just seemed too intensive to drop it. So what I did was I took a Dremel and I cut. If you see, I have adhesive there already, so you can't see through it as well, but you can see that there's a seam there, and I cut it at the top and bottom. Sorry about the video. Top and bottom. There's also a seam up here where I cut with my Dremel, and I cut down this side as well to give access to be able to pull this out. Once you pull this front section out, you can reach the expansion valve. Once you get to the expansion valve, you've got some some Allen style bolts in there, and then you'll have access to them. I don't remember what size that is off the top of my head, but you'll have access to it, and then you can release those. Once you release those, then you can pull this assembly forward, because this cover, you have now taken this front part off. You can pull it forward enough to pull the expansion valve down and out. You'll also have access in there so that you can replace the O-rings that are on both sides of the high pressure hose fittings. It's a little bit of work because it's tight quarters in there, but it can be done. And it was a lot easier than dropping the rest of the box out. So that is how you do that. And then on the inside, let's go over to the engine compartment side. On the engine compartment side, down here on the passenger side, you'll see these, if I can get down in there better, you'll see these two high pressure fittings right here. Those have to be removed as well, so you have some space to be able to work with after you remove the Allen style bolts that are on the inside. Once you do that, then you have a little bit of room to move it around and replace O-rings as necessary. I hope this helps. I know it's not a walkthrough of the process, but at least it'll let you know how to do it. Now, to seal it up once you've cut the panel, I use this stuff called E6000. Comes in a tube. This one's almost gone. It is a high strength flexible adhesive, transparent, and it seals very well, and it's very hard. And as you can see, it's nice and solid, so it's not going anywhere, and that'll hold it in place after you've cut this seam and are in there. And then you just go ahead and put the door back and the brace back and the filter back if you have a filter that goes in here, and that's it. If you have any questions, let me know, but it's pretty easy and simple if you do it this way. I'm sure there are those that are experts that can pull out the entire assembly and do it a lot easier without cutting it, but this was much simpler and time saving. Hope this helps somebody. Okay.